I don't know why I said that.
All right, the Lions win, and they get even more good news throughout and after the game, because when we look at this, Craig, one of the things we were really needing to do was, of course, win. But it feels like these last few games, one of the great news I love getting out of this game is it feels like we didn't have any major injuries.
Oh,
Am I
is
missing
that even
something?
possible?
Yeah, did you see anything?
I did not see any major injuries, even to like guys like Brian Branch who came in, and I was like, all right, are they going to be all right? Aren't they? You know, just stuff like that. I still didn't see any major injuries. I didn't. You're right. Thank you.
So, yes, no major injuries. That's the first one. And then the second good news that came out of this was, I'm going to kind of go through a couple of these, and
Okay,
you
hit
give
it.
me your thoughts. But
Give me it.
Iffy Melifonwu, I thought, and this is just changed our defense. You can say what you want about this guy, but one of the things that we all kind of agree on, he's got some juice. Like, he just does, and he's got
Yeah,
the body type where he can play safety,
there it
linebacker.
is.
You saw him down in the box, and it's like, we need
Blitzing.
bodies. Yeah, we need blitzers. We need bodies. So to see him out there kind of took some pressure off of not only the secondary, but the linebackers. Great to see Iffy out there.
Yeah, great to see Iffy out there. We need that. And if he can be if he can be that guy who helps replace one of the linebackers, that could be massive for us.
Yes.
And if he's playing in the secondary, it allows Joseph and Branch to be in even more places. I think we end up playing. I mean, I think we played 6 DBs a ton in this game, you know, unless you're counting Melifonwu as a linebacker, which he's not, right?
Right.
And so, like, we're just looking at this, and I'm saying to myself, like, yeah, it is nice to have someone come back and get healthy. It's nice. I wish it was more people along the defensive front, but like, we'll take it. We'll absolutely take that. By the way, I don't think the game plan on defense was any good for this game, and we still managed to hold them to 17 points. This
Unreal.
is like the recipe we used in the playoffs last year, which is just all right. They're gonna throw for a crap ton of yards, but they're not gonna run. And we'll talk about some of that. But I got some. Yeah, go for it. You keep telling me.
Well,
What are more good news that you got?
we can talk about that. Good news number 3 is we can win with this defense. Is what I kind of took away from this. Is we have to be honest with ourselves that we're not just going to be this elite defense. I think for a minute there we were, and we can all see, like, now, yes, we were with Hutchinson, name all the guys in there. It's like we were an elite defense there for a few weeks. We're just not going to be that. It's fine, but we have to. Can we win with this defense? When you talk about like Pat O'Donnell or O'Connell out there, and start naming these names, but you hit it. Hey, we're gonna give up yardage, but man, we're gonna be sticky in the red zone, and we're not gonna let you really run on us. And that's the formula.
That's the formula. And we can win with this defense. Do you want to know how I know we can win with this defense? We went 12-5 and made it to the NFC Championship last year with this defense. Like, we need to remember that. I think that's important to remember, that this defense is what got us to this point. So, like, that even last year. And then when we look at it too, I'll even show the numbers, right? Like, and I can share the screen here, right? They threw the ball over the place, right? But especially in the first half. In the second half, we put the clamps on more. But they didn't, if you look here, they didn't run the ball at all. 17 carries for 59 yards. So not only is it not a ton of carries, but it's not a good yards per attempt. DeAndre Swift, 9 carries for 20 yards against a front seven that's a no-name front seven. It's a hodgepodge. Like, that's remarkable to me. And I mean, it's not like this Bears offense has been terrible the last couple months. They're bad in the first half usually, but they're actually an offense that's been putting up yards and points as of late. So and we were playing them at their house. I think this was impressive.
Super. You nailed it. And that's one of the other things I was going to talk about was, so we hit on that. The other good news, especially with the defense, is Terrion Arnold is really, man, he's really good. And because he is a rookie out there asked to be press man so much. And so it's like, I'm just so excited to have such a great corner on our team. Just a side note, thoughts on him?
Thoughts on him, and this is the best part about what he did, was the last defensive play that we had. The second to last.
Yes.
He's one-on-one with DJ Moore, and you know what he did? And I don't think I can remember him doing it yet this year. He turned around. He turned around on a ball that was in the air for a long time, and in that, he was able to make a great defensive play. He is still getting better. He got beat early, right? He got beat early and on a double move. Like, we understand that. That's what happens when you're playing press man the whole game. But for the most part, he allows this defense to do certain things and play certain ways because he's becoming that CB1 for us. I'm not saying he's the best CB1 in the league. Everybody relax, right? But man, oh man, I trust him. I think that's the difference. I don't know about you, but I trust him back there up against almost anybody.
And that's what you were just talking about, the defense last year. We know we can win with this defense because we did it last year with this model where we give up a lot of yards. We're going to clamp down the red zone. We're also going to not let you run the ball. However, the slight difference is the secondary is the corners are better. Last year, it was Cam Sutton and Vildor, right? I want to say that were our corners last year as we're making this run. So now we've got Terrion Arnold, Amik Robertson. You know, he gets kind of burnt on areas and he's a little slower at times. And there's some things, but the guy is in there and I'll take him every time over Vildor. So yes, to your point, Terrion Arnold looks back at the ball. He's getting better. He's a rookie. Like, he is a rookie. This is crazy. So I just think this defense, I think that's the biggest good news out of this is like, we can win games with this defense. And I honestly didn't know if we would be able to.
Yeah, I didn't know if we'd be able to. And I think, like, again, this is a Bears team that has lost, what, 8-9 in a row now? Something like that. But here's the other thing we have to remember. This is a Bears team that we split with last year.
Yes.
This is a Bears team that almost beat us on Thanksgiving, right? Which we didn't like that at all, right? But, like, all of these things, like, it's not like it's a Bears team that doesn't match up well with us. They do.
That's right.
So to have this convincing of a win, for the defense to play this much better this time around, where, all right, we got the lead, we gave up a couple touchdowns in the second quarter, and then we shut them out for the second half, just 3 points. I guess that's not technically a shutout, right? But it went really, really well. And so overall, I thought it was a good team win. There was also somebody who was absolutely dominant in this game too, though.
Oh, hold on. We'll get to that in just a second.
Yeah,
I've got two more good newses from this is
good newsies.
Offensively, man, cannot take this performance for granted. One of the indicators I look at is the 3 and outs. Now at the end of the game, the announcer said that there was a 3 and out, but I don't think it was. I don't think the Lions they might have had one, but the point is those stall 3 and outs are just killer. And then, then you can start, things don't go well when you have 3 and outs, but the Lions just kept the pressure on. Big plays, screens, draws, runs, everything was working. Jahmyr Gibbs fills in without a problem. In fact, he's got the juice that you've just like, okay, let's go. So offensively, I loved seeing that. And this kind of goes to my next point. My next one is like, offense played well outside, on the road, in the division. It's just, we can't take this for granted. How quickly we forget years and years of going on the road, especially to Chicago or Green Bay. And it's just like, is, we controlled the game from the beginning. Thoughts on all that?
Yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs, you can't give him the ball 30 times. I understand that. At least not every single week. You can do it in the playoffs, maybe. I love David Montgomery. Can I just say that right now? I think he's a warrior. He's a glue guy for this team. He is the second best running back we've had in a Lions jersey in a decade, probably, or more. But Jahmyr Gibbs is the first. And what you saw in the beginning of this game was what this offense is with Gibbs. We've struggled running the ball inside this year a little bit as of late, I would say in the last month and a half. So I'm going to highlight 2 things. The first thing I'm going to highlight is how good Jahmyr Gibbs is. The dude is electric. Did you see him hit circle and hit that spin move in the backfield? Like there's things like that. Even the announcers like David Montgomery's great. He can't do that. But I'm going to highlight someone else that's good news for us, even if it's not for this year, but for next year. You notice Graham Glasgow is out.
Yeah.
Christian Mahogany
Mm-hmm.
has been good enough that he got over his mono or whatever it is that he had in the preseason, and he has gotten enough practice time in that he started an entire game for us and he didn't suck. He was good.
Unbelievable.
And it's just like, thank you so much. That is really great to see. Really great to see.
We needed that because it was like, man, with aging center, 2 guards, nobody behind them. It's like, oh, Skipper's coming in. You just like, love you so much, Skipper, but you're our backup guard or whatever, last year. Yes, that's a great point. But in Jahmyr Gibbs, and you saw Craig Reynolds come in, and Craig Reynolds got some good runs. It was blocked up well for him. But there was one where it's like, oh, man, get outside there. And it's like,
nothing.
No. And so what a just cheat code. I know that that's used a lot, but it's like, this just doesn't feel right. It feels like you went in, you edited a player to 99 speed in Madden. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to put your break tackle up to 92, set 70, and you just and you're just like, and you're playing, man, and you're feeling a little guilty, but you're also like, man, that was fun. So that's what he feels like.
Yeah, and here's the thing: Jamar Jefferson is going to start getting more carries than Craig Reynolds, I believe, as we get more and more trust. I think he's just he looks better. He looks faster. He has a little more wiggle to him, and he just looks all around. He just looks a little better. I know Craig Reynolds is reliable, and we've seen him there. But it's
I agree. I agree totally. Okay. I want to open this up to the chat and just let us know in the comments who kind of gets your game ball for this and what for this game. Game ball, offense and defense. I'll give you a second to think on this one, Craig, or maybe you don't even need to, but offense and defense. Everyone. Seriously. Put in the comments your game ball. We'll put you up on the screen here. Who gets your game ball? Craig, do you know? I know my offense. Do you know your offense?
I do know my offense.
All right, well, who do you got for offense?
Yeah, as much as I want it to be Gibbs because, he was in the backfield and he was solo in this game, it is 100% for me, not even close. It's Jared Goff. It's Jared Goff, and it's because he did something this is something we have yet to see him do in a Lions uniform. He came out there, Jared Glove Goff, all right? And we'll just start calling him Jared Glove in the cold. And he kept the glove on the whole game. He didn't second guess that decision. And you knew when he threw that absolute bomb to Jameson Williams. Like, I didn't know he had that arm strength. There's not a ton of quarterbacks in the league that can throw that ball, right? And I didn't realize he had it, but he commanded this game from start to finish. He is absolutely red hot. Dude had 250 yards and a half. Like, are you kidding me? On the road in Chicago with what used to be an elite Chicago defense not that long ago. And I'm just blown away. He has not gone on the road in the cold and had a game where he's thrown for like more than 225 yards. Like, he's managed games in the cold, but he's never won a game on the road in the cold.
That's right.
He won this game. He made sure the Bears had no chance. That's my offensive game ball. Who you got?
Okay. I was going to say the same thing. That's
all right. You can do it.
Yeah. But here's what another thing I'll say on it. Jared Goff, one of the things he gets knocked, of course, is he's not athletic. I get it, but there's different, but yet he is. And he's so smooth with his ball handling. So he does this fake trip up thing that I thought, it looks so good because it would be something that he would kind of like trip over himself, but it's like he's in full control, and you can see when he's doing some different, his ball handling, his ability, he knows what's going on. Like, the dude is athletic. Like, if you just were picking up a basketball, he'd be the most athletic dude out. I don't know. Right. But he's just smooth. He's a smooth dude. So anyway,
smooth with it.
Jared Goff, I was really impressed with. And then defensively, I just can't get enough of Jack Campbell.
Okay. He was my number 2.
Okay.
So Campbell, you're good. Go with Campbell.
Yeah. Jack Campbell, what I see from him is just, I think he's got just a one more notch in his game, which is exciting. But I do think he's really notched up from last year, where he's there, he's physical. He really is a tone setter for our defense. I just like, man, okay, we still got one guy that's like playing. We still got one guy that just sets the physicality out there. And so anyway, Jack Campbell, it's more of just a visual feel. I wish I had like these stats to back it up. I don't even know how many tackles he had, but I just feel like he's there. He
7.
controls the defense. Thank you. And
Mhm.
he's a player that I like.
Yeah. And I think Jack Campbell, I was really struggling. Like, is he number 1 for me? Is he number 2 for me? Like, I really was struggling figuring it out, because there were 3 players that I was thinking about giving it to. But here's the thing that is great about Jack Campbell. Sometimes a middle linebacker is very similar to an offensive lineman, right? Like, if you, yes, they get tackles in a cloud of dust, right?
Mhm.
But a lot of times you notice when they mess up, when they
Yes.
don't get a deep enough drop, and then, a player gets behind them, or they get one-on-one with the tight end and they get burnt, or they miss the running back in the gap, like that's not happening with him anymore.
I
I,
agree.
I don't see that happening. So yeah, I think Jack Campbell's great. My next two, it was
Mhm.
between, honestly, it was between Branch and Arnold. And I know the secondary kind of got lit up in the first half, but they really pulled the clamps down in the second half. I think I just have a tendency to give a little more love to Branch on this one, because he also had 12 tackles. like, and he
Jeez.
led the team in tackles. He was everywhere. He had a couple of good breakups. So did Arnold. I just think that I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Branch, because he was in the middle of everything.
I love
So
that.
yeah.
Branch, I was just thinking about it. I was looking at our defense and I was like, okay, seriously, we cannot lose Branch, DJ Reader, Jack Campbell, and Terrion Arnold is kind of
Yeah.
where I was at. Is there
They
anybody I'm
have to stay
missing?
healthy.
Yeah.
I don't think we can lose Joseph either.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I think we're at the point where everybody just has to stay healthy until we start getting people back.
Yep.
Like, we we need
Man.
everybody to stay healthy. I do think
Yeah.
having Iffy back gives us a little more security on the safety spot.
Yep.
So that's good. And they must feel confident about Iffy's Achilles, because maybe his Achilles are no longer iffy. They're solid, because I'm pretty sure they released Brandon Joseph. Like, I
Yes,
thought I
they
saw
did.
that. And so, like, he was our third safety and not playing poorly. So
No, and
they must think Iffy's good to go.
100%. What did you think of the JMO bomb, 87 yards, ish? I don't know what, 83 yards. What were your thoughts on that?
My thoughts were, how do I put this? Campbell's smarter than me. Because if I were the coach, after he got another personal foul, I would have pulled him out of the game. And it was like the very next drive that, like, not for the whole game, but like, dude, you got to stop killing us with these penalties. What I loved about it, it was redemption, right? It was redemption. And it was not only that, it was over the shoulder, almost Willie Mays like over
Yeah.
here. It was a really good catch. And then to keep his balance, like, I loved every second of it. And man, oh man, did it kill it for my fantasy football team too in one play. That's a
It was
lot of points. That's like 15, 16 points. And oh my goodness, the Commanders just scored a touchdown to go ahead with 6 seconds to go. Just in case anybody's wondering. Let's go. Let's go.
unbelievable. Commanders, what a ride that's been,
Just go
man.
down the
Unbelievable.
entire field in a minute and a half with one timeout. Score was 6 seconds left to beat the Eagles. So now we can, no matter what happens next week, if we lose right to the 49ers, if we beat the Vikings, we're still the number 1 seed.
Okay.
No matter. So next week, like, it does matter, because if we win next week, there's a world in which we go into the final week of the season and we have it clinched the number 1, depending on if the Vikings who the Vikings lose to. Like, if the Vikings, they went down and scored first drive, but if the Vikings
Jeez.
lose to the Seahawks, we might have it locked up if we beat the 49ers.
Yeah, the Vikings have a tough schedule. They got
Seahawks, Packers, and us.
yeah, But the Seahawks just, I don't know what they are. So it's unfortunate. I want to say they're
They're
good, but
garbage against good teams, unfortunately.
geez, yeah, right. So, man, you look at this in Craig. Just this is kind of off topic, but it's not. Let's just do it.
Let's
Which
do
one
it.
of these teams, 3 through 8? I mean, of
Do I
course,
not want to see?
yeah, I do not want to see.
I don't really want to see any of the 3 through 7. Am I crazy?
No, I
Like,
know.
the Buccaneers already beat us and they're rolling right now. The Rams have won like 4 or 5 in a row, and we've beaten that. We knocked them out of the playoffs last year, and with a healthy Cup and Nakua, like I don't want to see what that does to our defense.
Right.
The Packers, it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. And I would say the team that I'm the most confident with is the Commanders because they're just so young and new. But I'll take the Seahawks. Bring on the Seahawks.
Yeah. Falcons. If
Bring
you
on the
happen to be in there.
Falcons. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why I think it's so important to get that bye week and get the number 1 seed. I really think it's important because then you're going against the bottom seed. You're rested. Your players can be good and chomping at the bit to get out there and get a W.
100%. Like I think we all of course we want the 1 seed, but when you look at it, because and by the way, I miss the old format. Remember when it was 2 buys and then it was 2 games played?
Yeah.
I
You had the 4 wild card games.
Yep.
Or the 2 wild card games of the 4 teams, and then the 2 divisional round games.
Yes.
Yeah, that was when it was 6. I think I don't like 7. If you're gonna do this weird, funky format stuff, just just do 8 teams, make the playoffs.
Right.
Then no buys and just go.
So that bye week is huge because it used to be 2 people were getting a bye. So, but now only 1. So now really just like the math of it, there's 7 teams in, but then after that first weekend, you eliminate half almost of the teams. And then, like you said, now it gets reseeded, right? So now whoever's left, we play that worst team at home. And then that next game is the NFC Championship game. I mean, that first seed is
massive.
Everything. Yeah.
It's everything. And then look, you can say our defense and the ways of gambling with Dan Campbell didn't pay off, or you can make the argument that it was our 3rd game in the playoffs. We had a close emotional game against the Rams, a kind of close, but still emotional game against the Buccaneers. And all the 49ers had to do is beat the Packers.
Yeah.
And so they're coming in and they're like, nah, we feel we're still actually pretty rested from the week before. And so maybe they just outlasted us in that game,
100%. And they hadn't traveled. They hadn't 100%. And by the way, you see the fruits of the aggressiveness. And we went for it there. We were up by 17 at the end. I didn't like that. Kick the field goal, go up 20.
I didn't like that either, but that's fine.
Whatever. Exactly. But you saw it where it's like, all right, key moment of the game. We went for it and drawed them off sides. And I thought we were not going to snap that, but they're thinking the heck yeah, they're going to snap. What are you kidding
they are, because these guys are aggressive all the time.
Yeah. So there's different ways that this aggressiveness really helps. And so I don't know. I love it. It's what pulled us out of the depths of being terrible. It's who we are. It's just like, all right, we're getting used to it now.
We're getting used to it, but okay. Dan Campbell, year 1, what was the record? Was it 3-13-1?
Yes.
So 3-13-1. The dude now, we're almost done with year 4.
Yeah.
And he is now 9 or 10 games above 500.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think he's 37-28-1 going into this one or something like that, right? Even if it's 36. He's 9 or 10 games. I don't know if you're looking it up.
I'm going to look it up. Yep.
How long are we going to let people say the aggressive nature is costing you games and stuff? He was 3-13-1, and then he went 9-8, 12-5, 13-2. Miss me with that.
Yep.
No team's winning more than us. No team. So you can miss me with this aggressive nature crap.
100%. And the Lions in the last 50 games are 35-15. So
that's okay.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, some of the greatest coaches ever are just greatest teams. It's like, man, if you can get 500 in this league, you're winning. over time, right? And just to be 35 and 15 is incredible. So yeah.
Like if you can win twice as many games as you lose, and 35 and 15 is even better than that, right?
Mhm.
But like if you can win twice as many games as you lose, you are like the 2 or 3 seed every year for the playoffs.
Every year. You win if you win really, yeah, you win 3 out of every 4 games. Thank you.
You're going 12-5 or 11-6 every year if you're winning
Oh my gosh.
2 out of 3 games. Like,
Dude,
and he's sitting here like it's nuts what he's been able to do even after going 3-13-1. I always was like, oh, 3-13-1, that's gonna kill him. That's gonna kill his overall record. He's never gonna recover from that. And then here we are just 3 years later, and he's like, no, I actually have a great win percentage. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Yes. No, you got me fired up on this number 1 seed. It's
huge.
It's a must. 2 games in front of our home crowd. That first game is against the Commanders are you kidding me?
Can we talk to the people that are here in the live show for a second?
Yeah.
Can we do this? Everybody, I just want you to know in the semifinals for fantasy football, me and Chris are playing each other right now. And Chris, why don't you share a couple of the players that you have on your team?
I got old Saquon just as a steady Eddie base.
Yeah, he did okay today.
And then Goff, St. Brown, that Goff and St. Brown.
Did you see what happened at the end of the Bengals game? A minute 44 left. They're just trying to run the ball run out the clock. They're up 10 on the Browns. The Browns, like morons, jump offside. So Burrow just says, you know what? I'm just going to throw a 35-yard touchdown to Jamar Chase right here. So you got another 6, 7, 8 points there. I'm just like, are you kidding me with this crap?
He's been really good this year, Joe Burrow, for not being good for their team. That's a weird, fantasy.
You got a good team, man. You're thinking about back-to-back champs right now.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting nervous.
Getting nervous.
Are you? It's so you're this guy. I shouldn't say in case all the paparazzi gets there, but this guy is going to be out in the Holland area if anyone's around just partying.
You're talking about me? Yeah, wife's birthday. Thank you so much. We're going to be out with a group of friends who we're supposed to be with you.
Yeah.
Chuba Hubbard touchdown. The Panthers just beat the Cardinals. How does that happen?
Nice.
Oh, that's good for my other fantasy team. Anyways, not against you though. That would have been too easy.
Unbelievable.
So.
No, this is great. It's great. Thank you, everyone. There's some people in here. One guy's like a couple people put where they're from, and they're just in like warm weather. One guy's like, I'm watching from
hi from Tucson,
like Tahiti or something like that. Is anybody else in warm weather right now?
Who goes away for Christmas, right? Like gets to the warm weather. Like some people do that.
Yeah, I did it one time. Have you ever done that? It's
with family, like I go like down to Florida or something like that. Like when my parents had a place down there, we'd go every once in a while and visit them.
It's cool
for Florida.
It's cool to see the palm trees, with lights on them, and
it's very cool.
Yeah. Oh, this guy's in Florida.
Oh, it's only 48 there. Oh, it's like 32 here.
Yeah, right. Oh man. All right. This has been great. Thank you, everybody.
Always is.
Subscribe before you head out. Just hit that.
Commanders win was huge. Now we just need Seattle. We just need Seattle to win, and then next week we're Green Bay fans over the Vikings. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my gosh.
I would love to go into the final week and have the number 1 seed locked up. Doesn't even matter.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that? And the Vikings or the Seattle Seahawks. Are you good or no? Jays.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Let's get out of here.
All right. Good seeing you, everybody. Thanks for watching.